What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. Man, it's been a long week already. It's just Thursday. It's only Thursday, but one of the things that I'm very thankful for is football is back, baby. Football is back. You know, I got a comment. Kursan say, "Put me in, coach." Hey, Kursan, if I could get you in, it'd be towards the end. You know, cause we gotta chop up this beginning though. Me and Mr. Reid, he got to give me this information on the Jaguars, man. It's very interesting what we were talking about. I will say that if you are Jaguar fans, this should give you a chuckle with especially this safety position we're about to talk about, because I don't understand. I don't understand. I know I may be tired and had a long week, but I'm not. I'm not a football coach or GM, but from the eye test and just what I've known, there's no reason why. Oh, you already know what I said. There's no reason why Andrew Wingard should be a starting safety for an NFL team. Maybe an expansion team. I don't know, but I can't, especially here where you got better options. But he supposedly is number one on the depth chart. He's going to start, which, hey, it may not be that big a deal because Davis Mills, who I thought was going to start in Houston, is not starting. Tyrod Taylor is starting, so it's going to be mostly check downs majority of the game, unless Wingard just get all the way out of position and it gets ugly. But how are you feeling today, Mr. Reid?
Well, when you hear the defensive coordinator this morning, and a question asked to him, I mean, what has Andrew shown to deserve to be at the top of the depth chart 3 days before you play the Texans in your season opener? Because this is just like you said. I mean, and I can go back to Minshew versus Lawrence, and we had an opportunity to go watch that quarterback competition.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear the coach basically say things that your eyes did not see while you was watching on the sideline, and that's what this feels like. You know, Winger is, I give him credit. He's aggressive as a safety. He can make tackles,
Yeah.
but if he's isolated in coverage, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And when you put him out there, you basically giving the defense. They're gonna scheme him. They're gonna run routes to make sure that he's isolated in coverage. Now,
Yeah.
if the Jaguars' plan is okay, we have him on first and second down, and then they bring in the rookie Andre Cisco come in on third down. I mean, that's a nice plan on paper, but plans on paper don't usually work. You know, I mean, why would you even have to do that when you? I'm a believer, and I know you are. I'm a believer. You put your best 11 out there on the football field. I don't care about rookie jitters and all that. If you drafted Andre Cisco, which you did, then
Mm-hmm.
he's no use to you learning mentally from the sideline. You got to play him. That's the only way he's gonna learn.
Only
And I
way.
know this is 17 games into a season. It's a long season, but and then you got to come out the gate. When you come out the gate, you got to come out the gate with all cylinders firing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think this is a move where you rewarding a guy. Basically, I feel they rewarding Wingard for his effort. You know,
Yeah.
for I mean, he does. As somebody tweeted me, he's good at knowing where to go and those kind of things. But this is the NFL. This is not where you pat a guy on the back and say thank you for your good effort in training camp and then go out there and play the opening game of the season and don't think this kid gonna get exposed. Which we watched those games last year, and there was I know for one it was Minnesota, and he got exposed more than one time, and he got exposed on the biggest player of the game, and that was a tight game, and the game came down on a 3rd and 21 play, and who did they expose? They exposed Andrew, and the eyes don't lie. I like Rudy Ford. I like Cisco. I think both those guys, you don't need to take them out the game if it's a pass play. You don't need to take them out the game on a blitz. They can do both. And I'm like you. I'm surprised. We looked on that depth chart Monday, and it was an either or situation. So one reporter said, "Well, is Cisco going to be starting?" And Urban Meyer kind of, no, that's an or. It's a either or will start. That was listed on the depth chart Monday. But the way he said it gave you the impression that the decision on Monday had already been made that Andrew Wingard was going to start. And lo and behold, Tuesday that depth chart came out, and the or had been removed. So
right.
Oh, I don't know, man. I like the Jaguars. I like the moves that Urban made. I like the talent that they have. I think this football team is a much more talented, more, with better speed on both sides of the ball. But I have to question that one, just like I had to question that quarterback competition between Minshew and Lawrence when, Ray Charles would have saw that and say that was a no contest. Lawrence.
Right. I see Manhurts is going to start. I think that's well deserved. I think outside of O'Shaughnessy, who looks good, looks like he's coming back from that ACL tear. But Manhurts, I think he surprised me because they say he was more of a blocker, but hey, he ran some decent routes, got smooth hands, has a little bit of wiggle. He's not robotic. I saw the difference between him and when the scrimmage and Tebow running routes. I was like, it was night and day. It was night and day.
Yeah. But
it was night and day.
It was a night and day even on drills. You see Manhurts go, like they had a drill where you basically they line up, go out and block the end block the end and go out for the route. And it's like every time you watch Tebow, it's like he was watching his feet. And when you saw Manhurts do it, it's just like, man, it's like he's been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That and you got to answer this question for me.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Taven Bryan still on the team? I had to bring him up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I had my projected 53-man roster, and he wasn't on it.
I know.
It's all about potential, Brandon. I think they feel that he's a big, strong guy, and if we coach him up right, it's all going to click. It's going to click. And I said this 2 years ago. I said it on your show many times. You cannot be a football player if you're not instinctive. That word instinctive is you feel the running back coming in the hole. You may not see him, but on the you can look on your lateral movement and they're blocking toward a side. And this is the only guy I've ever seen in the NFL who can have a running back run on the side of him, and he's turning around like he's searching. Where is he? He's searching for the running back who just ran off his hole that he's supposed to have been feeling.
Yes, and then, the low light of his career.
I thought the end was in the Dallas game. It's a typical Taven Bryan in the Dallas game. He lines up in a neutral zone. He don't even have the awareness, like, don't don't give yourself up to the officials. You know,
Yeah.
either point to the offensive guy or don't, or just stay where you're at.
Right.
Not only did he line up in the neutral zone, he fired off the ball, so he was all sides, and then he like raised his hand while the play was going on, like oh, and it's like, man, I say that should have been the last straw right there. If
Yeah.
that's
Should have
not
been.
instinctive for a guy who's been in this league since 2018, and he's still making rookie mistakes. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, man. I mean, and it's as Doug Marrone, as the previous regime, as the Dave Caldwells. How many more lives is this guy gonna get? I mean, how many more chances is he gonna get to finally live up to his potential? If he ain't got it now, he's not gonna have it. I mean, come on. They're playing
Right.
him at defensive end. If he can't be instinctive enough playing tackle to feel his own hole, what makes you think he's gonna set the edge?
Yeah. Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I feel you.
I mean, if he can't set the edge, if he can't feel his own gap, then what makes them think that everything is going to click? Plus, he missed all the training camp.
Yeah.
So
All the training
to
camp.
me, I think they got rid of some players on that defensive front that was performed better than Taven did, and they got cut.
Sean Taylor said he got 9 lives. It
Nah,
seemed
he
that
got
way.
12 lives. I mean, he's got.
It,
If he was
it
on
seemed
any
that
other
way.
team, he wouldn't. I mean,
He'd be
come on.
gone.
Yeah.
He'd be gone. And see, Jakar says, why didn't they make DJ a captain, but all 3 first-time Jags, Griffin, Jenkins, Jones, was named captains?
Man, let me tell you a story I don't have this sourced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anybody buzzing in my ear, but DJ Chark, he's got a lot to prove. I mean, if there's something that they don't see enough of in DJ. I don't know what it is. All the reports that I've heard, that he had a great week of practice. He's coming off the finger injury.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to offer him an extension unless he have a great season. And when out of all the players, Urban Meyer singled him out and said that he played small last season. There's a lot of guys on that team that played small last season.
Yeah, it wasn't just him.
It wasn't just him. And I don't know. I mean, I just think that I don't know from the feedback that he's seriously in their future plans. I mean, he's got to have a great season.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be targeted. I think that Trevor Lawrence like him. I think he got all the potential in the world.
Yeah.
But he also, man, he's got to get off press coverage. He's got to play harder. I mean, he's got to be more durable. He's got to make more plays. He went from 73 catches one season down to 56. And a lot of times, I mean, you can't fault him. A lot of times he had passes thrown to his foot. He had passes thrown 6 feet above his head. But man, from what I'm hearing, the Tweety Bird's telling me that if he wants an extension, he's got to have a great season this year to stay in Jacksonville after this season.
Oh man, let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna get to Jakari real quick. Then we're gonna come back to Sean. He said, I think Tyron is an insurance policy for Chark.
Yep.
Yeah, could be.
If Tyron can run routes good, which has been his problem, running routes,
and
if he can be that deep threat to go with Marvin Jones, I think that's some of the things that he's looking at. I mean, he's looking at who is going to be my playmaker. And not just being a playmaker. I'm talking about consistently being a playmaker, not making one play out of 6.
You want 2019 DJ Chark. That's what you want.
Exactly. That's what they want. They want 1,000-yard receiver. They want a guy who can make the catch and get the yak yard, get yards after the catch. That's what they want. They want playmaking ability. And I say this, during the training camp before he injured his finger, Urban Meyer used to work with him. The only out of all the receivers, out of all the players, Urban used to come out on the field and he personally worked with DJ on getting off the line of scrimmage, getting out of press coverage, getting in his route and not being knocked out of his route.
Yeah.
And personally, DJ should have had those skills at LSU. Those skills should have been taught to him at LSU, but he didn't have a quarterback. They didn't throw the ball a lot, so he's a little behind, even though he's got that athletic ability. He's got the speed, he got the size, he got all the ability to be a, not just a good receiver in this league, but be an all-pro receiver,
Yeah, he does.
And he also, I think he wants it. I don't think there's anything wrong with his mindset. I mean, I don't think there's no situation like CJ Henderson or anything like that. He doesn't. This kid loves the game. He works on the off season. He just was married, a couple of months ago. Got a little kid. He's not pressing the issue on getting a contract extension. So he's bought in. He's all in. But you can be bought in, all in, but if you don't produce, then the door is there.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Sean Taylor says, how many wins y'all think the Jags are going to get this season? Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I was watching the Saints, them play against the Saints in the preseason, after the first two drives, after the first two drives, it was 14-0, right?
14-0, yep.
So I said, this is a 3-win season after that. But then we come back. I did. I'm not gonna lie. And then so the front seven stole the show after that 14-0. Yeah. Jahad Ward, DeJuan Smoot, Miles Jack, they were flying around. I say, okay, 5 wins. Hey, when I saw that front seven, I said, okay, they'll add 2 more wins to it. But in all seriousness, I think I say 7 wins, 6 or 7 wins. I think 6 or 7 wins would be a successful season. That would be a really good season. Yeah. 6 or 7 wins. Year one of a rebuild. No, we won't be 1-15, so 1-16 now. We won't be 1-16, but I say 6 to 7 wins.
And I agree. I think I predicted earlier that they would be 7-10. I think
7.
I think they get 7 wins. I also think they'll come away with the win Sunday against Houston. I think that'll be. I don't think the Texans can run against this defense. I do know that they played only against the backups. They played 3 preseason games, and all 3 of them was against the backup. So I do understand that. But Houston, to me, Houston has bigger issues than the Jaguars had last season.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And it's going to be like that all year. They're going to bring in guys. They're going to release guys. It ain't going to be no rhythm, no harmony. You're going to have this Deshaun Watson stuff. That cloud ain't going to leave. It's going to be with this team for the whole year.
Yeah.
And it's just, you got a new coach, and it's just, it ain't the year for the Texans, man. No matter how you slice it. Even if they were to win this game, they can conceivably lose the next 16.
Yeah,
I think it's that bad.
Jakari with the bold prediction. He said, "I think we sneak in the playoffs with the wild card." That's a bold prediction. Good stuff, fellas. Appreciate that, Sean. Sean said, "Oh, we beating Houston." Yeah, I feel it in my bones. Yeah. I will say, man, I was watching. I think it's First Things First on FS1, and Nick Wright had an interesting take about the Jaguars. They said, "What teams can go from worst to first?" And most of them picked San Francisco. They'll go from worst in their division to first because they were worse because of injuries. It wasn't because of play; it was injuries. They were hurt. But he picked the Jaguars. Nick Wright picked the Jaguars. He said, think about it. He said Houston is a non-factor. Indianapolis has already started down the slow train with the whole Carson Wentz thing. He said that's off to a bummy start. He said it's really only one team Jacksonville really has to get past, and that's Tennessee. And he's like, I think that they can get past them. He said, Tannehill. We already said that defensively, Tennessee is not as stout as they were a few short years ago. They still haven't addressed rushing the passer, I think, to the extent where they did just a few years ago. And then also, Derrick Henry has a historic workload over the last 2 years. How long can he keep this up? Who knows? I don't know. I think this year, I'm pretty sure he's going to be running with smoke coming out of his ears this year. I don't think he's going to have any decline just yet. Yeah, his touches. He still doesn't have relatively many touches because he didn't get many touches at Alabama. He didn't get many touches early in his career with Tennessee. So he could run this train out for another 2 years or so with this heavy workload. But that's bold though. That's bold. I can't say that. I can't say that. I don't think we're ready.
Who? You don't think who ready?
Jacksonville ready to overtake them for the division. And
no,
Tennessee and even the Colts.
I really think they're 2, maybe 3 years away from really being a AFC South contender.
Yeah.
But
Tennessee suspect on the defense. Yeah.
Tennessee is in another league than the Jaguars right now, man.
Yeah.
Now I do think that Indianapolis is beatable for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And hey, if they lose both those games to Tennessee and they can beat the rest of the teams in the division and they can sweep the Colts, hey, that's success, man. I mean, if they can finish second in the AFC South this year, shoot, that's almost like making plans for a parade, man. A parade down Bay Street for 1-15, the second place finish in the AFC South. That's an accomplishment.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Another thing is he's gonna continue to add talent, man. There's not gonna be a situation where that roster is not gonna be turned over for the benefit of adding more players on areas that they need. I think they're solid at linebacker. I don't think they're solid on the defensive front. I don't think they're solid at the offensive line. And I think the cornerbacks, I probably have a better definition on how good those cornerbacks would be after week 4.
Yeah. Tight end too. Tight end need work.
Yeah, tight end too.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do something with the tight end, man. I think
you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
I think if that be a glaring problem for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, who knows, man? They might can make a trade. They might be talking to the Eagles. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I saw Ertz had they rekindled their relationship, and he says he's all in. But yeah, like you said, week 5, and we got an offer on the table. We'll see where it's at then.
Yeah, they forced to have Minshew in the game at week 4, and they 1-4. I don't think those good vibes will be happening with Ertz at during week 5 if they 1-4.
Yeah, definitely will be
1-3.
See, Sean Tedder says Tennessee suspect on that defense. Yeah, they are. That defense is suspect. Julio and AJ gonna take a lot of pressure off of Henry. Speaking of that, they will take pressure off of Derrick Henry. It's very interesting to me that Ryan Tannehill has had, such a great run since he's been a Tennessee Titan. Ever since he took over for Marcus Mariota, he has, I think he's like first or second, maybe third at the worst in every major statistical passing category. He's been that good, of course. But the issue is it's the playoffs. Those playoffs numbers are pedestrian at best. And I think it's so funny when people they build up Ryan Tannehill, but yet they have all this smoke for Lamar Jackson. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, man.
I understand it.
Well, I know why it is, but I tell people all the time, man. I said that young quarterbacks don't win championships like that. I say you get spoiled when you get a young Brady, a young Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. I say, but even when those quarterbacks won, go look at the teams they won with. Those were superior teams.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff. They had great teams that they won. That was a team after they won titles. So, like Peyton Manning didn't win a playoff game until his 6th year.
Yeah.
He regressed in his 3rd or 4th year before he took another leap. So it's crazy. But Tannehill, I've told people, Tannehill eventually is going to turn it back into the pumpkin. But he's done it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's done it in the playoffs, though.
He's going to be back to that Dolphins Tannehill.
Right. See, Jakar said, don't even mention the Ravens. Hey, the Ravens going through it right now. Kerson wanted to come on. Hey, I might have to have him do a whole show because they just lost Marcus Peters and Gus Edwards to what they fear to be ACL tears.
And you know what's even crazy about that? It happened on back-to-back plays in practice today.
Yeah,
successive plays. Man, can you believe that? On back-to-back plays.
Yeah.
They done lost both those guys, and then probably both of them be out for the season.
That's rough, man. That's rough. That is rough, man. But let's get into this before we get into our other topics of got to talk about T.O. Got some stuff on Kawhi Leonard. But we're gonna get into Jaguars versus Texans. Kind of maybe some keys to the games, matchups, things to look for. What you're looking forward to the most. You guys chime in the comments. Let me know what y'all looking for the most in this game against Tennessee. I would say what I'm looking for the most is how the defense is, how they've constructed this defense. I want to see this defense against Tyrod Taylor and this running game for Houston. See how they fare, see where these DBs are, and see is Jameis just that good, or are we barbecue chicken on the back end? I need to know that.
Yeah. Well, number one for me is the offensive line. I mean, I don't know. I've been I've said this many times on your show that, man, I ain't convinced. Mm-hmm. I'm not convinced on Norwell, who, he done been out for probably 3 weeks, almost a month now. I think those guys I'm not worried about run blocking. I'm just worried about pass protection, man. And particularly on the ends with Cam Robinson and Jawan Taylor. Jawan said today, he admitted that, he had some setbacks as far as, technique not where it's supposed to be at. And they've been working to get it right. But, you don't want a guy regressing, if you don't want a guy regressing, but respect someone who says that, yeah, it's been an issue, but we're working on it, and I feel like I'm ready. But that offensive line concerns me. Defensively, I agree with you. They look good stopping the run in the preseason, but, playing against backups and playing against the real deal is two different things. You look at, this Texans team don't give you any fear, but, Mark Ingram has been a pretty productive running back in his career. And I don't think he concerns me more. Philip Lindsay, who they got from Broncos, he can break a long one if you allow him to break a long one. And they got David Johnson and Burkhead, who used to play for the Patriots, and I think they're going to really try to establish the run against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
So
I think so too.
And I think the Jaguars gonna load the box. They're gonna have an 8-man box. They're gonna try to blitz Wingert.
Right.
And that might be my number one concern on defense is, man, if this guy can't get isolated in coverage, if they're gonna play a lot of straight up man on with the two corners with Henderson and and Shaq Griffin, but come on, man. They're not gonna play straight up man the whole game.
No.
They're gonna play some cover three at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that
Yeah.
concerns me, But they say Tyrod doesn't throw deep balls, but man, I tell you what,
Captain check down.
yeah, he's a check down guy, but I don't know, man. I'm concerned about the receiver, Brandon.
Cooks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That speed will keep you up at night. Because all it takes is one mistake.
Yep.
And I don't care. Tyrod throws 5-yard passes all game. As soon as Cook's colors splash down the field, he's gonna let it go. So
and they can run all type of hey, they could put a defense to sleep for 2 quarters and then bang.
Bang. Yep. You're right. Oh, Jakari got a prediction. He said Trevor gonna put up 300 plus passing. Oh, okay. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And they're gonna need it. I think they might need a 300-yard passing game from them.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna be not us per se, but it's funny the thought on Trevor right now surrounding Trevor. Ever since we got the first pick, it was trending downward, and then we took him, drafted him. Of course, people got to see him in training camp. Media members came up and said, "Okay, yeah, this kid's the real deal." Everybody who came and saw him say, "The kid is the real deal. He's the man. He's going to be the guy." And now after the preseason, from what we've seen, it's back down. His stock is not very high right now, in which I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he likes it that way. He strikes me as that kind of guy. Like he's had his doubters. I think this is probably the first time he's really had doubters because high school, Cartersville, he won 2 state titles. I didn't think he lost a game while he was a starter there. Clemson, he lost only 2 games. And it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that he was, because I think it was Kelly Bryant was the quarterback at the time. But it took 2 games for him to take the starting job. So, I mean, this is his first time facing any criticism, and they're gonna criticize him. But I think he's gonna show very early what kind of quarterback he is. But I think his best football is going to be when it gets cold.
Oh yeah, mid-season and beyond. But I mean, for a guy, let's just go back to the preseason. He didn't play spectacular, but he played well enough. I mean, he had a good game against Dallas. But this is what I look at. He experienced pressure in that pocket for all 3 of those games a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
And he didn't have any interceptions, so he wasn't forcing throws. He stayed within the confines of the. I mean, he showed poise in the pocket. I mean, I thought in the game in Jacksonville against the Browns, it could have been up question. He probably did hold the ball too long on the second sack, but I mean, I think I think the best is ahead for him, and they got to put him in position to be successful too. You don't need to run any. There shouldn't be any design run plays for him, RPO or whatever. It shouldn't be anything that involves him with a direct run. I think if he's doing RPO, it'd just be getting the ball out of his hand and quick throw to Laviska or check down to a running back or something like that. But for him to, I don't ever, to be honest, I hope he never runs like he did in that one run he had against the Saints.
Yeah. I hope so.
And they needed 8 yards on a 3rd and 8, and he got 9. I don't want to see that play no more because that will get him hurt.
It will.
Yep. So I just think they need to just play. I want to see them challenge the defense. I mean, this is a perfect example Sunday. Just go challenge the defense. I mean, set them up with the run, but throw some deep downfield passes and get on the scoreboard, take an early lead, play without pressure, and force the pressure on the Houston defense. I want to see over the top plays. I want to see that ball go downfield like it did against Dallas. Even on rollout plays. I want to see Marvin Jones, if he get a step on a guy, I want to see them execute that deep route, the seam route. Just move the chains. If it
Mm-hmm.
takes 4 plays to score, then hey, so be it. Get back on. Rely on your defense, but I don't want to see a 14-10 game here on Sunday.
Yeah. No, I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see that either. I want to see them score points, and play good defense. Um, I think that too. They got to run the football.
Yeah, they do.
Let James Robinson, let him cook, let him go, run the football. I think that that's going to set up everything for Trevor.
Yep.
One of the main things too, and it sounds simple. It sounds very simple. When you say it, you're like, well, that sounds simple to do. Everybody should be able to do it. It's hard to do. Keep them ahead of the chains. Keep
Yeah.
Trevor ahead of the chains. Keeping Trevor in third and long is going to be a recipe for disaster. I don't care who not Tennessee, but Houston has on the field. If he's in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8 consistently throughout the game, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. And they got to protect them. I mean, I can never stop
Yeah.
talking about that defensive line, the offensive line. But they got to allow him to get a rhythm. I really haven't seen Trevor be in a rhythm. Probably, he was in a rhythm a little bit in the Cowboys game, but I think they got to get him in a rhythm. If he's got to throw safe passes and just to get started early a little bit with that before he starts, you know, throwing downfield, and so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But and I want to see these receivers, unlike in that Saints game, I want to see these receivers get separation, so
Yeah.
it'll be an easy throw. I don't want to see passes, that they do take a shot and this, 50-50 ball because the guy couldn't get open. It's like he couldn't get separation. He had a step and, you know, he didn't run his route all the way through, which has been a problem for DJ Chark too, that he don't run the route all the way through. He cuts
Yeah.
off the route. We can't have that. I mean, you're
Right.
supposed to run a if you're supposed to run a seam route, that's what the difference in having a quarterback like Lawrence. He's gonna get you the ball. It may not be at the point that you want it, but it's gonna get there. You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they got to take advantage of all their weapons, which I surely think that Urban Meyer will take advantage of that. But I want to see these guys come out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the last one of the games I most remember about the Jaguars playing the Texans was that opening game in 2017 when they just dominated the Texans. I mean, they had 10
Yeah.
sacks. I think that Calais Campbell had, I think, 4 sacks in that game, and they did it from a defensive standpoint. They just took the wheel away from the Texans with the takeaways, the sacks. But I don't know if the defense is up to that Sunday. But I want to see this offense go in, take control, get an early lead, build on the lead, take advantage of these playmakers. I mean, if LaVisca open, get them the ball. If Chark open, give them the ball. And just move the chains and get it going, man. Hey, 14-0, 16-0. Just keep piling it on, and then if the Texans gonna try to, if they go down early, then they're gonna change that run plan to a pass plan. So these guys got to be ready for whatever gonna face them. But I want to see these guys. I want to see the Jaguars really go out, take control of the game, take the crowd out the game, get a lead, and build on the lead, which we hadn't seen a lot of in the last 3 years.
Yeah. I got a bold prediction before
Mm-hmm.
we go. I will predict the score. I got a bold prediction. Laviska Chenault will have between 7 and 10 catches, close to 100, 80 to 100 yards, and at least one touchdown. Just from what I've seen in the preseason and from what I've heard and just their interaction, those two have a chemistry already.
Yeah.
And look like him and Marvin Jones does too. But him and Laviska look like they're on the same page, regardless. Like when Trevor has to move and scramble, he always finds Laviska. So I think Laviska's going to have a big game Sunday.
And another thing, Brandon, out of all the, I'm almost ready to say, like, out of all the offensive players, I think Laviska has made the biggest jump since last season in everything. He's physically better. I mean, he's built up better. He run his routes better. It seemed like his maturity just seemed like nothing has come in his focus to be ready for this season. It's just every day you see the guy, he looks focused. Every minute he's on the practice field, and when he coming off the practice field, it seemed like no COVID, no anything had distracted him from the purpose of just having a better season than he had as a rookie. And you're right. I mean, he's a guy that when Trevor run like these timing routes and he's slanting and he's rolling out, you don't see anybody deep, then that's his guy, Yeah. And another thing about that is once he catch the, 10-yard seam route, he's making, he's making yards after the catch too. And that touchdown catch he had against Dallas, man, that was a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And that's the thing. Arm tackles are not going to bring down Laviska Sunday.
No.
It ain't happening.
I like how they're using them. I mean, I thought the previous regime. I at times I didn't think they know what to do with a guy like him. I mean, they ran some jet sweeps and that kind of thing, and he was a little bit in the backfield. But it's almost like when they ran the jet sweep, everybody in the stadium knew he was getting the ball.
In
a loaded box. It's like, come on, man. If you're gonna have him lined up in the backfield and he's getting a direct snap, what defense not gonna know that he's getting it?
Right.
So I like to see a little bit more disguise if he's gonna be a runner. But take advantage of what he is, man. He's physical, and he can, press coverage and all that is not going to stop him from catching the ball.
Yeah. So, I will say Sunday, Jaguars 24, Houston 14. Yeah,
that's a close game though.
It's a close game. I don't think they're gonna blow them out per se. I don't see like that 2017. I don't see that happening because that was just I don't see that happening. But if Davis Mills was starting, I would say 30-14.
Yeah.
But Tyrod is going to take care of the football. They're going to possess the ball. And they're going to basically shorten the game because they're going to run the football and throw short passes. So they're going to do ball control offense. So I'm looking for that. So I'll say about 24-14.
I'm going to say 21-10. Somewhere in that area. Yeah. I think that the Texans, they're definitely going to try to run the ball, but I don't think that they're going to, they're going to have to pass the ball if the Jaguars get out to an early lead.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really think the Jaguars defense is going to be they're going to be the players of the game. I think they're going to be able to shut down the Texans running game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to get a couple of sacks off the edge. I think Josh Allen going to have a good solid performance. Not like Calais Campbell performance at 217.
Right.
But I think he's got an opportunity to at least get one sack or multiple sacks. And I think they're going to move him from either side.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I do like about Joe Cullen's defense. I like the fact that there are going to be some times where he have three safeties on the field. I like the fact that he disguises his coverage and it's just not the same. It's not like Todd Walsh defense where everything looks the same on every situation. He could, he could have a 5-man front on first down, or he could put 6 defensive backs in the secondary on third. And I just like the versatility of the defense because you keep the offense guessing. There are going to be some timeouts called by Houston when he switches those defensive schemes around. So I like that. I like their defense right now. I think I hope the back end improve because I wasn't impressed with the back end in the preseason, especially in that Saints game. But I like those guys as far as, when teams ran against them in the preseason, man, they had 4 guys filling the hole.
Right.
So if Taven making mistakes, they at least got 3 guys covering his mistake up, which they didn't have last year.
Right. So I think I think one thing I do know I like about Joe Cullen, and I know this, I can say this with confidence, he won't be playing zone when we should be in man.
Yeah.
So we won't have to worry about that. Todd Walsh he was notorious for that. It's times, you had two of the best man corners in the entire NFL, and you had us in zone majority of the time. I didn't understand it.
And that receiver from the Patriots, he plays with the Texans, Amendola.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
He's third string, but he's out there.
He's out there. So, we'll wrap up that Jaguars talk, but we're going to stay in the NFL. We're going to move over to these stories before we, it's 8 o'clock, okay, because I think kickoff is 8:20?
Yeah, 8:20, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 8:20. So
we'll be signing off by then, huh?
Yeah. I want to get in. I want to get in some of that game, man. I'm itching to see that because if the Cowboys get embarrassed, man, it's gonna be a great day at work.
Wait a minute, Brandon. So every time I talk to people, man, have you ever been a Cowboy fan?
No.
You've never been a Cowboy. Okay.
No. My grandmother was a Cowboys fan. She loved the Dallas Cowboys, but I've always been a Jaguar. Since we found out we was getting them. That was my team. But even before then, I wasn't into the NFL like that. I mostly watched college, watched the Hurricanes, watched all of the Florida teams, Florida State, Florida stuff. But yeah, never been a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Cowboy hater. They talk about them a whole lot for a team that hasn't won anything in 26 years.
Yeah, I know, man. I got too many classmates. If y'all listening, boy, it's too many of y'all Cowboy fans, man.
Yeah.
There's too many ex-Reebok graduates that's Cowboy fans.
Hey, I guess this is Jacksonville thing, man, because there's a lot of people here in Jacksonville who are Cowboy fans. They're usually older, but they are Cowboy fans. There's a lot of them here.
Yeah, boy. I remember them days in school, man. It was one side was the Steeler fans and the other side was the Cowboy fans. And it'd be homeroom. It'd be like we'd be going at it, man.
Yeah. It's like the Packers-Saints game. They said the Saints chose the Jaguars because it's harder for the Packers fans to get to Jacksonville or to get tickets or to fly in. And people say, dude, you not know the reason the Packers travel so well is because their fans live all over the country, not just because they travel from Green Bay.
Man, let me say something about that game. I really think the Saints fumbled the ball on that. Mm-hmm. Number one, the tickets are too high. The parking is too high. And I'm surely by Sunday, it's not going to be, but before Sunday, right now, the cheapest ticket is $68 up in the nosebleed. That's too much, man.
That's too much money.
Yeah. And then they got $30 to park.
That's too much money.
You don't pay $30 in New Orleans to park. It's like, what are they thinking? Yeah. So they had so many tickets come back from New Orleans, because you can understand the fans they got bigger concerns than the Saints right now. The roofs might be off. Some of them still may not have lights on in Jefferson Parish, right outside of New Orleans. And
yeah,
you talking about a 9-hour drive if you're driving, and then I don't know how much a plane flight is from New Orleans to Jacksonville and back, but I don't know. But I just thought that like if I wasn't doing the Jaguars and say that ticket was like 45, I
Mhm.
would probably spend $45 to see it, no matter where I sat at in the stadium. But I'm not gonna pay 60. I'm not paying $70 to go sit in the nosebleed, and that's the cheapest ticket that they have. Or I go, hey, if there's somebody selling ticket outside the stadium, then that's different. But that's a
Mhm.
lot of money, man.
Not to mention, it is going to be hot. Not to
Yeah.
mention,
Well,
yeah.
they play at 425. So
Hey, and that's gonna make it even worse. You know why? Because it's probably going to rain, and then the sun's going to come back out, and then it's going to be
oh man,
unbearable.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So, man, let's jump into these topics. Let's see. What was the first one? T.O. So
Yeah,
T.O.
T.O. T.O.
T.O. has been in the news. He went on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp's podcast. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Shout out to T.O. But T.O. is one of my favorite players to watch when he played. One of the best personalities. Should have been a First Ballot Hall of Famer. But it's funny, after he got the Hall of Fame and he switched the ceremony, went to his alma mater, which I thought was a good thing. I liked it that
Yeah.
all he did was add fuel to the fire. See, that's why we didn't do this. That's why right there. But T.O. still has beef with Donovan McNabb. Still has beef. And this beef that T.O. has with Donovan McNabb the ball started rolling. It's been many things going in their relationship to get it to this point. But it all started with 4 simple words: shut the F up. That's how it started. T.O. said he was open downfield, one of his first games with the Eagles. Donovan told him to shut the F up in the huddle in front of everybody. He said their relationship went downhill since then. There's been a bunch of different things, but he was on Club Shay Shay, and they asked him who would he doing fighting celebrity boxing. Of course, he says Donovan McNabb, and he says that I will knock the chunky Campbell suit out of him, and which was hilarious to me. But it just reminds me that, man, people just hold grudges, man. Like it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's
Yeah.
over. Neither one of you guys are playing anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, happened. I understand. Donovan has fed into this too. It's not he hasn't been an innocent bystander by any means. I remember Stephen A. Smith reported that T.O. was unfairly penalized as being the villain in that locker room. She said Donovan McNabb held up a lot of responsibility when it came to their relationship dissolving. But for him, for it to still be going on, I think that's too much to me. It's too much. It's too long. They need to bury the hatchet, man.
Man, I don't think I can even respond even better than what you said, man. And it's just foolishness, you know. I
Yeah,
mean, come on, man. You're gonna hold a grudge over something. What? How many years we talking about? I mean, at
man. We
least
talking about
2006, seven, somewhere
6. Mm-hmm.
6.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, there's not. I mean, even if they were to be in a room,
Mm-hmm.
and what are you gonna say? I mean, it's like, hey, man, I'm mad because you said that in front of the team. What? More than 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Let's be grown men, man. Like let bygones be bygones. And one thing I like To because To lived a difficult life as a child with the father situation, and
That's crazy.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
I understand some. I mean, I feel that To has never been regarded like he should have been, and
Yeah.
I think he's a guy who's always seemed to be like he had to scream out just for somebody to hear him. Even
Mm-hmm.
he went to San Francisco and it was Jerry Rice's team,
Mm-hmm.
and when Jerry left, it was. Yeah, I mean, there was a game where To had like almost 200 yards receiving, but it was like Jerry's last game
Oh,
unofficially,
yeah.
and they start throwing the ball to Jerry. So it just seemed like T.O. has always, it just seemed like for a guy as talented as him, there's always been either a distraction or the more attention is about what he did, what he didn't do, or what he did that was wrong. But it
Yeah.
just seemed like there hadn't been enough focus of just how good he was as a receiver, which the reason why it took him so long to get in the Hall of Fame because people wasn't judging by what he did on the field. It was judging by his actions and his personality. He didn't talk to some reporters, and he just
Yep.
he was shaking pom poms during the game and spilling popcorn down his mouth, and it just seemed like it was a lot of people sidetracked off the I don't know, the Hollywood side of him and not paying attention to how he was as a receiver, a great receiver. But
Yeah.
people got caught up in this. I mean, I don't know if the right word is shenanigans, but and I think if he's an NFL player, sometimes you just have to put that stuff aside and say, what did he do on the field? I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean, some fault goes to him that maybe you should have did this, but hey, man, this is what he is. I mean, he's not changing, and I just don't want to see the guy just like don't create news just to be in the news. You get what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
create. I mean, you're a great receiver, and be in the news for the right reasons. Don't be in the news to create something that happened in 2006. If you two guys, if
Yeah.
they can't mend that up and patch it up, then move on. Just don't come in each other's circle. Don't make it into a media show. Don't go on these talk shows regurgitating something that ain't really there no more. Or just patch it up and hey, be distant friends. You both played in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl together, so you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, man. I hate,
Yeah. I hate to see it too. The one thing I can say though, for his off the field stuff and his being a distraction in the locker room, and Skip Bayless calling him a team obliterator and things like that. The funny thing when people talk about that is the one thing that they don't mention, and I'm like, how can you not mention this? Because it's so obvious, is that for a guy who was a supposed team distraction, he split the locker room with obliterated teams. That means that whatever stance he had, people agreed with him on the
yeah,
team.
yep,
You can't split the locker room if you are totally wrong. If you're
exactly.
wrong, nobody's going to side with you. But he was right on some of the things that he had issues with, and he had people on the team on his side, and not just a few. They said the locker room with the Eagles was split down the middle,
Hmm.
you know, and so I mean, you gotta look at it that way too. But coaches look down on that anyway because say it's just a distraction. So I understand, but the man wasn't all wrong. He just probably went about it in the wrong way.
You know something else, Brandon? I maybe it might be get him on one of these NFL studio shows and
Yeah, I've seen him on some shows. He's good. I wonder why he hasn't gotten into broadcasting more. I know he's with I don't know if he's full time down there with Prime at Jackson State, but I know he's on the sidelines of those games. I don't
oh,
know if he's full time on the coaching staff though, because I know initially him and Warren Sapp were supposed to be coaches, but I don't think they're coaches. I know they be there, but I don't think they're coaches. But yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm with you on that, man. But yeah, they got to bury the hatchet, man. Let it go. Let it go. Just leave it in the past. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna stay in football before we get into a little bit of basketball. So I got it. This is what I want to ask you. So Rob Ninkovich said that Mac Jones was helping Cam Newton with the playbook.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
And when I saw that, I said, why are they doing this? Why is Rob Ninkovich doing this? Why is this even out? I said, now what they're doing is piling on. I said, there's no way that this is true. Now, somebody brought up a situation where it said, hey, maybe it's a new play, new concept, new something. Cam might not have understood it. Mac did understand it because he maybe ran it at Alabama or something like that. Maybe something like that. But the playbook in itself, no, I'm not buying that at all.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. I saw that and I just said, come on, man. It's just somebody throwing another dart on a guy that's,
Yeah.
not there anymore and can't defend himself. It's amazing to me and that a lot of times things get out once a person leave an organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, he's not going to be able to defend himself, or he probably won't defend himself. But I don't think that happened, man. I mean, come on, man. So you're telling me he started at quarterback last year, basically from that he didn't know the offense. So you think
Mm-hmm.
Belichick kept him on the field for the whole season, and he didn't know what to do? I mean, he
Yeah.
never looked indecisive to me that he didn't know what
Yeah.
the play was. I actually seen him in a couple of games where he was directing guys to line up where they're supposed to be at too. I saw
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how things get construed, and I guess you know, do we need to go back 20 years and say, well, it's just. I mean, we live in a tough world, Brandon. Man, it's just. I mean, you don't have to say certain things to get the implied meaning of what they're trying to say. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
it ain't just about Cam Newton. It's an insult to all of us, to be honest, to even have
Yeah.
something like that to say. You're gonna bring this rookie in from Alabama, and I respect Mac. He's from Bowles. He's from Jacksonville. I
Yeah.
understand that. Good high draft pick. But come on, man, you gonna tell me that this kid come in? He's so smart that he knows the playbook better than a veteran. I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just
And,
certain things you just have to shake your head. Like I'm a journalist, but man, I'm starting to even shake my head on some of these so-called reports and a lot of it with the national media. But it's just like, man, I mean, I'm starting not to believe a lot of stuff, man.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we create news to get page views, and if we getting
Mm-hmm.
sources, we're not back checking to see if the source is right. We just taking one word and we using that one word, and we ready to launch it on the website without even checking the source. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
That's happening. That's
it is.
happening. All you got to do is go to Twitter and you'll see it happening in live time where sports pundits, whether they're reporters, they work for ESPN, Fox Sports, or some smaller platforms and publications, they hear one thing and a lot of them will run with it to the point where they'll have to retract things because they got it wrong.
Mm-hmm,
I'll
mm-hmm,
never forget Uncle Chaps on Twitter. I think he used to write for Big Cat Country here in Jacksonville, and he used to cover the Jaguars. He's with Barstool Sports now. Olivier Vernon was going to sign, was here in town, and they negotiated a contract about him coming to Jacksonville, signing with the Jaguars. He tweeted out that Olivier Vernon signs with Jacksonville 5 years, $75 million. It was on ESPN. I'm talking about in no time flat. And it wasn't real. It was fake. It was a fake tweet. And it was on. So yeah, you are correct about that. And then, but back to Cam, I could understand a little bit if the book on Cam was that he had issues on the board. He had issues digesting plays. He had issues with reads, maybe, and stuff like that. That was never Cam's issue. Cam's issue has always been his mechanics, his
mm-hmm,
footwork, and his accuracy. Those
mm-hmm.
have been issues. They've never mentioned Cam not knowing the playbook at any time. Florida, Auburn, Blinn Junior College, Carolina, up until now. Never heard it. Why all of a sudden that it's a thing now?
But
So that's
another
why I don't.
thing,
Yeah.
Brandon, if it was an issue, and if you watched them play, something would have gave a signal that
Yeah.
he doesn't know what he's doing, or or he's got a wrist with the plate that's like all the way up his arm. I mean, I didn't
Right.
see that. I didn't
Never
see
seen it.
where, and Belichick is a perfectionist, man. He's not a guy that just, well, he'll run it right the next play, because if he ran that play wrong, he's either gonna call a timeout or they're gonna put in another quarterback. And I watched enough of the Patriots game last year. It just didn't seem like they were out of rhythm, or they were
Let's
just,
go.
you know.
What up? Yeah.
So I think that's a blown out. A Let's throw some more shade on this guy while he's
Mm-hmm.
done got kicked down,
Kick him while
and
he's down.
and just kick him while he's down. That's
Mm-hmm.
my feelings about that.
Yeah. Cam deserves better than that, man.
Oh,
There's no way Mac Jones is teaching him to play football. So it is what it is, man. So we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna get into a little bit of this NBA before we get out of here. So another report. I don't know if you had heard this or not either, but Kyle Lowry said that Kawhi Leonard rubbed some people the wrong way while in Toronto. Now, I saw that and I laughed just like you did. I said, that makes sense to me, because what's hilarious is LeBron James, and it's because of he's a larger than life figure in the NBA. He's that guy. He's been the best player in the NBA for the last decade plus. I mean, you could argue probably maybe the last 13 to 14 years. He's legit been the best player in the NBA. So he takes a lot of criticism. One of the first true superstar to come up in the social media era and play his career in the social media era. One of the most scrutinized. He's always been painted as a diva. Nobody wants to play with him, hard to work with, things like that. And I always say, okay, nobody wants to play with him. You saying all these things, but look like guys want to play with him to me. But Kawhi Leonard has never been labeled any of those things. It's pretty much been the opposite. I know he was Skip Bayless's guy. He talked about his work ethic and how he's this and how he's that. It's all because he was quiet. Come to find out, they say one of the biggest divas, the biggest diva, is Kawhi Leonard. And then, not to mention, not only him, they say his camp is insufferable as well. His uncle does a lot of the talking for him. They say he's awful too. So now light is being shed on Kawhi Leonard and how he's been behind the scenes and how people really feel about it. I think it's hilarious that it's coming out now, though, after he got Toronto a title.
yeah, I do, but I'm gonna say this, man, that go back on his history. You know, when did you ever known of the San Antonio Spurs to unload a superstar in a trade? You know,
Yeah.
you go back to Toronto. There was an issue. Well, in San Antonio, they thought he should have been playing, and he thought otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
It was an issue of San Antonio doctors felt that he was able to go,
Mm-hmm.
and Pop said, "Hey, it's time. We done gave you this time," and it's like, man, you need to. Well, I thought to say you fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to everywhere he's been since San Antonio, it's like, man, I watched a couple of Clipper games during the regular season. I say, well, damn, where is he?
Right. Right. Those knees, though, I will say that those knees got to be arthritic. Like he got to have some issues with those knees.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I'm on the thinking of this, man. If he did something to burn some bridges in Toronto, man, we should have heard about this 2 years ago.
Yeah. Because you got a title out of it. I don't care what it was. That's like they said that Aaron Rodgers, it was a report that Aaron Rodgers has been a headache for the Packers and stuff like that. And I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Bart. It might have been Bart Scott. He said, well, if Aaron Rodgers is a headache, how about take some Tylenol and shut up? Like if Kawhi Leonard is a headache, take some Tylenol and shut up. You won the title. Even in LA with the Clippers. What's your alternative? Who's you gonna get? If you didn't get Kawhi Leonard, who was coming to LA to play for the Clippers?
Yeah,
so
exactly. And they re-signed him, so the Clippers.
right.
So, hey man, it's just like Urban Meyer it's like the teams in the university. The U had those teams back in the 80s. When Urban Meyer, I mean, when Michael Irvin had privileges that other players didn't have. I mean, that's the one thing about professional sports. When you're at the top of the class, you can you can break a little curfew rules, or you can have some. I mean, what do they call those in the NBA? They call where you're not hurt, but you decide not to play. I can't think of what that word is.
Talking about the DNPs.
No. I mean, they got a word where they call where a guy like he's resting. They just call it another word.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I can't. That's gonna kill me. That's gonna kill me.
Yeah, what is that word, man?
What is that word? I know what you're talking about. Let's see.
I can't think of it, but boy.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna get it by the end of the show because I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's like the Spurs. I remember the most hilarious one I saw was the Spurs. Popovich put the reason why guys didn't play. I think Manu didn't play and Tim didn't play, and for the reason he put old. Yeah, NBA told him, say, hey, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more.
Yeah, well, David Stern said, man, you can't rest these guys, and we on a national television game against the Lakers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, well, as far as Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he's an NBA player. He's a millionaire. He's superstar. There's going to be some diva there. I don't care how. Just like Jordan. Jordan has some diva. Kobe has some diva. Shaq has some diva. And you think about all of them, man. These guys have diva in them. I mean, they have to have that mentality that I'm the guy. It's all on me. All or nothing. I want you to have that mentality. I'm the best. Nobody's better than me. I get it. I understand that. And that's going to rub some people the wrong way. But the way we count this over here is by results. Last time I checked, he's a 3-time champion. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Don't forget James Harden. I think he might be at the head of the list. Well, all what he got away with.
And he won nothing. So yeah.
Man, he was like picking the practice time, where they practice at, and if it was near his favorite restaurant, they would pick high schools to practice at.
Yeah. Man, you talking about determining when we practice, what time practicing, where we practice, how we practice. Yeah, they say James Harden had them in the stranglehold.
Yeah, he did. Oh, when they fly out.
Yeah.
Hopefully he ain't got it like that in Brooklyn.
Hopefully not. We'll see, but hopefully not. Oh, last one. I was looking at it. So Mr. Paul Pierce went a bit. He back in the news. Paul Pierce is back in the news.
What do you do?
Paul Pierce is. So Paul pretty much went a little scorched earth on ESPN. Not too bad, He talked about his departure, and one of the things that I highlighted I saw is he say the reason he didn't fit in. He said he didn't fit in at ESPN. He said you have to talk about LeBron all the time, and if you know Paul Pierce, he's not a LeBron fan. He at every turn he's had to say whatever he wanted to say about LeBron. He's took little jabs, he's took digs, and I understood it. Twitter's got on him, people have got on him for doing it, but I understood it. I mean, when LeBron has pretty much ended your reign, and pretty much anytime you saw him, he gave you buckets. I would understand. And Paul Pierce feels like, hey, I was a great player in my own right, so I'm not bowing down to him. And they call him the king and stuff, and I get that. But it was funny though. He said that one of the reasons he didn't fit in at ESPN because they had to talk about LeBron all the time.
Oh man, let it go, Paul.
Let it go. So there's another one. Let it go.
How did he feel about Kobe Bryant?
I wonder how he felt about Kobe Bryant. Yeah, he said I was done with them anyway. There's a lot of stuff over there that you can't say, and you have to talk about LeBron all the time. And and they said talking about that video that he had where he was smoking and in there with the strippers. He said he didn't do anything illegal. He said these MFers in the Hall of Fame, some did cocaine, they did battery. He said, what else did I do? He said, I was just having a good time. All the people coming after me to my have you MFers do the same stuff. You just hide it, and you all married while you're doing it. I'm divorced, I'm retired, I'm having fun. That's true there. I give him that one. That's true. That's the pot calling the kettle black right there. I will give him that. This whole holier than thou, and I'm not like, come on, man. You just ain't been on video getting caught, but he is 100% correct in that part right there.
Well, you know what, man? Maybe it's a good blessing in disguise that Paul Pierce is not on ESPN no more. As he said, he's enjoying retirement. He can do what he want to do, and he doesn't have to be in a nation, on national television talking about LeBron. That's probably, hey, that's a good retirement.
It's a good retirement. So, I think he's with he may be with Barstool Sports, so he has a career going forward in broadcasting. I think Paul is very good at what he does, even with the NBA, him covering the NBA, him maybe covering some other stuff. I think he's good. So I don't think he'll have an issue getting back to where he was. ESPN has been going through a lot of changes anyway, just from a talent perspective, man. They seem to go on cheap. Probably, I guess, maybe doing some long-term bets on some people, hoping that they'll work out, but not being able to, not wanting to re-up some of their most talented people. I mean, losing Maria Taylor, I think, was big.
Oh yeah, it was big. I mean, and then they come back and all that controversy. Then they switch. I can't think of her name. They switch her out and say she's not doing the NBA studio show anymore. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I think the biggest problem I got with ESPN, I think they too often they create news. To me, they just come up to create controversy so you can go on their website. I mean, that's pretty bad, and I mean that's my they didn't used to do that prior years, but I don't know. And then they shake so much up with the Monday Night Football. They switch it out every year. It's like they got new announcers, and I'm trying to figure out, like, are you trying to get back to Howard Cosell and those guys back with Monday? Monday Night Football is never going to be what it was when it started. It's not going to be Dandy Don. It's not going to be that. And if you go back in history, then I mean, I love the game, but you watch Sunday all day. You got Sunday night, you got Thursday night, and then you got a Monday night game. And I think it's based on if you get a good matchup, you're gonna watch. People are gonna watch it, but it's not gonna be like the three guys in the booth is gonna force you to watch the game when you don't want to see a bad two teams play. So. Yeah, I think announcing with these NFL games is a little overrated. I mean, Tony Romo is good, and he can tell you plays before they happen, but I don't know.
What that is, Nesco? Are you trying to say game time? I don't know what that is. You got some spelling errors in there. One of the I want to know. This is what I want to know when it comes to ESPN. Who was on the hiring committee to hire Jason Witten for Monday Night Football? I just want to know. I just want to know because he was awful. Yeah. He was awful. That mixture of Tessitore, McFarland, and Witten, it wasn't good. Witten held him down. But even once Witten left, it's not like it got much better. It was okay, but it didn't get much better. So it wasn't all Witten. It's just that those three just didn't go together. Maybe Witten to be better suited for something else because who knows? But Monday Night Football was not it for Jason Witten. But ESPN, one of the things too is that there was contracts that they hadn't gave out. And so, like, say, like some of those NBA games that they did, and they'll get like a primetime slot, and then players will rest. And it's load management is the word we were looking for.
Load management, that's it. Load management.
So hey, ESPN, they got the big contract they gave to the NBA. They got a primetime game. Hey, it's the Lakers versus Brooklyn, and Kyrie and Kevin Durant on load management. They're like, hey, these players need to play, man. Come on. What? Yeah. And they like, Brooklyn's like, this is a regular season game. Like, this doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's the one thing I missed by David Stern. Because David Stern, you know, he didn't wait to, hey, look here, San Antonio, Bob Popovich or whoever making this decision. Mm-hmm. If you don't play your star players, then we're gonna fine you like $2 million.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I liked about David Stern, man. He didn't wait 2-3 days after the fact. He would like if that game happened on Saturday, he'd have to fine like it'll be Sunday morning. It didn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
But now the NBA is more like, you know, we got to do it the right way. We got to review and then give a decision, a thought out decision. And,
yeah.
And, you know, we have to do it to be publicly adhesing to our audience. But David wasn't like that, man. David. He said David would go on a halftime show personally on the ABC show and said, "Well, what do you think about this?" Well, I think it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had no problem. He didn't mince words.
Yeah,
he had no issue.
This is our league, and you know, the team's gonna have to conform to the league rules, and if we don't conform, we're gonna fine them. I mean, he didn't care about all that PR image conscious.
No. I had no issues with it, man.
Probably the only guy in the NBA who could stand up to Greg Popovich was David Stern.
Right. Oh yeah, there's probably only one. So, man, before we get out of here, so what are your predictions for the these young quarterbacks, as far as not necessarily what kind of stats they'll have, but just maybe how their seasons will play out? And because I know Trevor's going to start, of course, Zach Wilson is going to start, but the rest, Mac Jones is going to start, but Garoppolo is pretty much the man in San Francisco. He pretty much all but confirmed it, even though Shanahan was being coy about it. But Garoppolo then gave the hand away. Andy Dalton, I think Andy Dalton is starting in Chicago. Justin Fields isn't.
Well, he'll start out.
He's gonna start out. And then he's always broke. So at some point Justin is gonna get a chance to throw the football because Andy's gonna get a paper cut and he'll be out for a month.
I think all the comparisons this season, we're going to see the most comparisons involving Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. I mean, it's going to be before they do have a matchup where they're going to play against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like what I saw in the preseason game that he didn't play the final preseason game, but it was that second preseason game. He looked He looked good, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He looked good. He got the ball out. And the one thing I liked about the Jets, it seems like the Jets got good tight ends and they got a good offensive line. I don't know. That's preseason, but it seems like they got a good mix of offensive players, a little bit more. The tight ends is better than what we have in Jacksonville for sure, but I think if he, obviously if he get protection, I mean, I don't think he has expectations, but I don't think his expectations as high as what Trevor Lawrence going to face the whole year, And when you look at Justin Fields, I see nothing but greatness. Andy Dalton is just, I think there's a comment that Andy Dalton was asked, how much are you going to try to help Justin Fields? He said, well, that's not my job. If he want to come to me for help, then I help him. But I'm not gonna, you know, initiate it. And I'm saying to myself, man, what kind of mess is that, man? I mean, I like,
He
come on, man.
he would have been better off giving them the Torrey Holt. I told you what Torrey Holt said. He came into Jacksonville and he asked him, "Say, are you going to mentor the young wide receivers?" He said, "Yeah, mentor them right to the bench." He he would have been better off saying that than that right there. Like, what do you mean, man? That's weird. So he would have been better off saying that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
with Brett Favre, hey, he can learn by watching me. That's what Brett Favre said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But when Andy Dalton's sitting on the sideline and he's watching Justin Fields throw
Justin
a
Fields.
60-yard pass, and he's
Yeah,
trying not to look like, damn, this kid has got off.
right, right, right.
But you know what, man? It's like, hey, the inevitable is there. I mean, he'll be the stopgap guy for a couple of weeks into the season before they can't keep Justin Fields on the bench, man. And that Chicago
Yeah,
need they out of all the teams, just like Jacksonville, Chicago has needed a franchise quarterback for a
a
long,
long
long,
time.
long, 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 long time.
McMahon. Yeah,
Yeah, and even he struggled, but he
yeah,
just though he had great, great people around him. The Walter Payton, a great defense, but he wasn't a great quarterback. You know,
right. And yeah, that was it. That was it, man. So you're right. Yeah, I can't think of a. I don't think they've had none. Jay
ah,
Cutler, but
yeah, yeah. But
Jay Cutler.
yeah,
I
man,
don't know,
they
man.
they had some defenses there that
Hmm.
if they would have had a franchise quarterback, they would at least been in the Super Bowl. And this a
Yeah,
couple of years ago.
yeah.
I
Oh
remember they
yeah,
lost the playoff game to Nick Foles in 2018.
double doink.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they had no quarterback, man.
No, Trubisky was awful, man. That them passing on Mahomes
Yeah,
and Deshaun Watson is going to forever harm.
and
It is.
I think about Allen Robinson, man. I say, man, Allen Robinson used to argue at practice, come out, come on, Blake.
Yeah,
And then he go to Chicago. Basically, he went back to a quarterback just as bad as Blake.
yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. So I think it's only a matter of time before Trey Lance takes over in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he's got like a little
Only
finger issue right now.
mhm.
Go.
But you because Garoppolo is made of paper. So
Yeah.
I mean
Well, he's
he
hurt every year. He's hurt all
every
the
year.
time. Every year.
Every year. Every year. So Lance is going to get his opportunity sooner than later. So I think it's only a matter of time for them. But I do wonder about Mac Jones, though. I don't know what kind of season he's going to have. Um, I don't think he's going to blow it out of the water and just be an all-world talent. But I think he's going to be steady. I can see him being steady, limit his mistakes, and them. I think they could be a playoff team, no
Yeah,
doubt about it.
I
Yeah,
think so too.
yeah,
And he's a guy that's he's accurate and you know, I mean, he doesn't have he's not going to win any games with his feet. So
right, yeah,
but if he's a good drop back passer, and I commend him going up there and you know getting in there and then being named the starter. But out of all of them, if I was ranking them, I would put Trevor and Zach Wilson up there, and Justin Fields is right in that top three.
yeah, yeah,
I would put him up there.
yeah, yeah. I think so too. I think by at the end of this season, I'll say Trevor will probably be ranked number one by the end of the season, just like what he'll show during the season.
Yeah,
Um, Zach will probably be ranked number two. Mac will come in at three. And depending on how much Trey Lance or Justin Fields get to play, they'll round out that the 2, the 4, and the 5. But I think that's pretty much how the season is going to end. Even though Mac has a chance to, I think, get up there at 2, depending on what they give him. Because you go back and I look at Brady in his earlier years. I mean, they left the training wheels on a little bit, but by the time the playoffs rolled around, his first year starting, dude, they let it go.
Yeah,
they let him sling it. So I think eventually that's going to happen for Mac. And once he gets the green light to do what he does, I mean, look out.
Yeah. And he'd probably be the man. You're looking at a quarterback, but all these guys, I mean, you're probably looking at, if they don't have injuries, they stay consistent. I mean, you're probably looking at, we'd be talking about these quarterbacks in this class for like the next 6-7 years, if not more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think
strong class for quarterbacks. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll be around for a long time to come. Yeah. Oh yeah. You see, Tampa done scored already. All right.
Oh, the Bucks on the scoreboard.
Bucks on the scoreboard. Yeah. Bucks on the scoreboard.
It might get ugly.
Yeah, it might get ugly now. It may get ugly. This first quarter, it's like 5 minutes left. So yeah, it may get ugly now. I don't know, but we will see. I'm ready to dive deep into this right here. Oh, did you catch any college football before we go?
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, I watched Georgia and Clemson. I was a little surprised by that game. I mean, Georgia defense dominated Clemson. I saw.
Yeah, I saw it, Ness. He said 94 plays, 94 yards, 9 plays, like a knife through butter. Tampa Bay 7-0.
Man, that's Brady, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we need to go get us some tickets and go see Brady and them, man.
Oh, down in Tampa? Yeah, I would love to go to a Tampa game. Yeah, man. Yeah. But what you saying about the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I watched. To be honest, one of the most entertaining games I watched was Florida A&M and Jackson State.
Man, they were talking about that. People were live tweeting about that game, and they were just like going off. It was like, oh, it's horrible coaching, it's this, it's that, and yeah.
I like my Florida A&M, man, but I tell you what, if they would have played 10 quarters in that game against Jackson State, they still wouldn't have been able to score. I mean, it's just both of them. They didn't show much on the offensive side. I like Jackson State defense though, but I'm a little surprised at Clemson, man. Clemson just don't. I mean, Clemson ain't. I guess when you have to replace someone like Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne,
they lost a lot.
Yeah, they lost a lot, and they just, I don't know. They didn't look like Clemson in that game. But Georgia looked good. But every time I think about Georgia, man, I won't start saying anything about Georgia unless they can get past Alabama, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, the Gators are already dreading seeing Bama in 2 weeks. So yeah,
that's probably gonna get ugly. But I like, what, man, I like what I saw from Florida State, even though they didn't win that game. But they looked a little more to me like the Florida State we used to, man. I mean, I thought that they moved the ball downfield. They were able to score. They were able to answer scores from Notre Dame. I thought their defense played pretty well. I thought they looked like Florida State and getting the ball, passing it downfield, not looking disorganized.
So who do you start? I'm starting Milton.
Yeah, Milton. That's who I'll start.
Milton has to start. Yeah, I'm starting Milton because even before, was it Travis? Mm-hmm. Even before Milton came in, the scoring plays that Florida State had, like they were mostly mistakes by the defense.
Yeah.
On the long run, the bomb. Yeah, it looked like mistakes to me. So it didn't really look like that they were able to manufacture offense like that. Mackenzie Milton came in and manufactured some offense for them. So I think going forward, I would start him.
I don't know to the point, but why wouldn't he start him anyway? I mean, this kid that went through all the injury. He was good at UCF, and I don't know, man.
Yeah. Key Williams, what's up? Let's see. What Nesco talking about? Shakari Richardson lost again. I think she doping. She did. She did lose again. She lost again.
Thing about doping, man, it might be time for retirement. She lose every other day, man. What's up?
She came in fourth the last one I saw. She came in fourth. It's better than coming in last, but she came in fourth the last one I saw.
Yeah, but she ain't winning though. Lord have mercy.
She is not winning.
She better stop sipping on the yak.
Yeah, he said I almost correctly predicted that game. Yeah, he did. He said I said FSU in 3, they lost by 3. How fitting for that kick to go wide left on Bobby Bowden night. Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. Yeah, he did. Remember, he said last week. That's what Desco said. So he pretty much he predicted that game, man. Yeah.
But they missed the first field goal, right? They had opportunity to win and they missed the first field goal. Florida State.
I think that's what happened. Yeah. I can't remember because I didn't even get to see the overtime live. I just saw the highlights.
Yeah. I like their athleticism, man. I think they could be I think they might be back in the ACC where they can be a major player, man. I don't think they don't look dysfunctional. I thought last year and the year before that they looked dysfunctional. Like, man, these guys, you don't run the quarterback sneak 20 yards and then fumble. I ain't seen none of that Saturday night. Sunday night, whenever they played.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. Also, that Bama, that Bama Florida game may get ugly because I don't say because Bama's defense. Because I was like, man, is Miami offense this horrible, or is Bama defense just that good? I don't know. Like I can't tell, but Bama's defense is legit. Man, the best. What they say may be the best player in all of college football. Number 31, I think it's Will Anderson Jr. Mm-hmm. Miami couldn't block that kid to save their life. I think he's only a sophomore. He stayed in the backfield. Stayed in the backfield.
Well, that's what's gonna happen against Florida. Florida. You're gonna have to get a passing game at some point, man. It's good to have all those running backs, but in order for them to win, they got to throw the ball downfield, man. I think the Alabama game will get real ugly.
Yeah, he said, they missed the first field goal. Notre Dame could not stop the run. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I really like Florida State. Like, they look like the athleticism back. They look like they got speed out the backfield. They got receivers who can get open, so I like that.
Yeah, we say Miami is that horrible, and GA defense is a monster. Yeah. Yes, 99. I can't remember his name, but number 99 for Georgia, dude. They say, hey, he's like the reincarnation of John Henderson.
Oh man,
they'll 99. He got a lot of people singing his praises on Twitter over this past weekend. He was killing them. But Georgia's defense is legit. But I didn't really doubt that. Because their defense has been decent for the last couple of years. It's offensively when they go up against top defenses, can you score? Yeah. And they haven't been able to consistently. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
They got to get past Alabama, man. I don't think it's gonna happen. Not this year. He got a lot of talent, but hey. They better just hope Oklahoma and the Texans come in there and they can balance out things a little better. It'd be a harder little tussle for Alabama, but this is Alabama's. The SEC is Alabama, man. I don't care how you say
it. That's true. And people always say
slice it.
It's Alabama and a bunch of teams, man.
That's what
So
it is.
I seen somebody. Is that a touchdown for the Cowboys? Is that CeeDee Lamb? Oh man, touchdown Cowboys. They're like a touchdown to me.
Oh, so they untied it up.
Yep. Well, they
Oh,
about to kick the extra point now.
well, Dak done got back, huh?
Yeah, man. I watched some of this drive, man. The drive, he looking good, man. He looking good. That was a knife through butter too, Ness. I saw that. I was watching it. I saw it. Yeah, man. I think we can wrap it up here. See, was there any other topics we can go over? I think that was about it. Ness brought up Sha'Carri Richardson. That's funny.
Yeah. She gonna be
But yeah, man. She
a
just
lot until she wins.
she needs to stay off social media. And
Yeah, first you need to rededicate herself to her craft, man, and leave all that side stuff alone.
you say CeeDee Lamb is good. Yeah, no joke, Ness. CeeDee Lamb is really good. Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they answered, man. That's the Cowboys.
Yeah. I said that Tampa Bay, I think they'll make the playoffs again. I said, but I don't think they're going back to back. I don't see them repeating. I said the fatigue they got from their Super Bowl is going to be real. Mm-hmm.
Man,
it's going to be real.
Man, the second year around,
mm-hmm.
hard to get motivated a little bit. You got everybody coming at you, and I mean, they still playing in the same division with the Saints. So.
Yeah. Hey, play like I played like a lot of the old Maddens, and when you come back for the next year after you like win the Super Bowl, they have advisors and they'll have these little bullet points of things that you need to look out for. And on one of them said, winning the Super Bowl is great, but some players can grow complacent, and that is the truth.
It is. Yeah. Happen a lot in the NBA too, man. It's like they grow complacent and you try everything in the world to get the guy motivated from all these motivational this and motivational that. But boy, once you win that crown, it's hard, man.
Yeah. You see, her last loss, she came in second, and it was a stack race that she should have won. Nike picked slower runners, and she still lost. Oh man.
Oh, I mean, she better get back to training, man.
She got to. She has to, man. Because
stop smoking the yak and get back on the track.
That's bars. We gonna end it right there. That's bars from Mr. Reid right there, man.
Yeah, don't stop sipping. Yeah, you're right. Stop smoking the yak. Get on that track.
Yeah, that's bars right there for sure. For sure, man. For sure. Man, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate you, Mr. Reid, coming on. It's been we had a little energy left, a little energy left.
We always chop it up at the barbershop, man. Yeah, we can chop it up next week and see if this team gonna be 1-0, man.
Hey, I'm clearing the whole thing. I'm gonna have whatever topics I'm gonna have. I'm gonna keep them in a separate column because Jacksonville versus Houston is gonna need a full break.
Yeah, man.
I feel it.
I hope we have a lot of good stuff to chat about, man, and we still have our quarterback.
Yeah. I hope so, man. Let's see what was Ness' last comment. Say, doping her trainer is known for doping scandals. Yeah, I did see that. Her trainer is known for doping scandals. I did see that.
Yeah, so she need to get a new trainer. She need to move on, man.
Move on, man. Move on.
Get back and rededicate yourself to the game, to the sport, man. Stop finishing in fourth. You need to win.
And stop talking. No more talking.
Yeah, no more talking. Just show the medal. Show the gold.
Yeah. That's it. That's it, man. That is it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias. If I'm not mistaken, I got another show Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. It's gonna be either Friday or Saturday. I got a show. I'm supposed to be doing a show with a guy. We're gonna talk relation. He got a topic on relationships, so I don't know what the topic is just yet because he said the last time he was gonna do a show with somebody. And he gave him the topic that he wanted to talk about, and he wanted to come on they took the topic and didn't let them on and did it on their own. I said, man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's messed up. So I was like, don't worry, you ain't got to tell me. Just right when we get on, because whatever it is, I'll be able to talk about it, I'm sure. Yeah. So but yeah, I'll have that. And then sometime maybe next week, got another show, but I'll keep you guys in the loop. We'll definitely be back next week, most likely next Thursday or Friday. One of these days we'll get it. We'll be back. And last comment say, as long as those Jamaicans aren't racing, she may have a chance. Oh yeah, hey,
that's when
that's
she
the truth.
Sure that she don't smoke the yak when them Jamaicans in that race.
Man, what? Yeah, because they was born on it, so they don't do it for recreation. It's a way of life there. It ain't they don't do it for recreation. But it's a way of life.
But they fast. They can run.
They fast. They run. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Oh man, follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Jacksonville.com, Florida Times-Union. I appreciate y'all once again, man. But we are out of here, man. Peace.